Hello and welcome to Forgive My Foul Mouth Friday. This is another episode of Lotek Health. Let ourselves translate expert knowledge with Brad Burns. Today we're ending our week on reciprocity, and I'd like to say thank you. Thank you to the birds and the bees and the coconut trees and everything that is keeping me happy and keeping me alive. I had a great fucking week. I'm hoping everybody else did too. Let's open up the country again. Why the fuck not? Who cares at this point? We don't have enough people in the hospitals. One of the stranger times where some areas nurses are not able to get a job because they've refused to do elective surgeries. A lot of the bread and butter is disappearing out of the hospital, and still can't find the fucking masks because there's some bullshit. Yeah, this is what I want to fucking vent about for sure. There are search and seizures of masks that we needed going to 5 distributors and then being decided of how they'll be distributed throughout the country, which is fucking insane. Yeah, they give the government will seize in 95 shipments, give it to 5 preferred distributors, and they'll resell it to the highest bidder. Isn't that great? Isn't that terrible? Health packaged as a product, I'll say it again, it's not a fucking good idea, because you don't know what you're buying, and you don't really get a menu, much less a receipt. And if you do get a receipt, you're not going to get it really well managed or compared to other people's prices they've paid, because it's all some big secret. Because health, how do you put a price on health? Well, insurance actuaries do it all the time. But at a certain point, we're going to have to decide. Mentioned this before. 1982, Reagan and the Omnibus Act, or COBRA, included the Emergency Medical Treatment and Active Labor Act, which said we're going to care for anybody in an emergency. If they're going to die, we'll save them, whether they can pay or not. And now, don't run off on me. My dog's trying to get away. But with science, with a little bit of forward thinking and critical thinking, we know what's going to be an emergency, so we should treat it before it becomes an emergency, costing 3 times as much. Because again, if this nurse is your fucking nurse in the hospital, I don't care whether you can pay or not, you're going to get the best treatment I can fucking offer. Yeah, and I got to tell you, I'll waste some money on some people. If we're not allocating funds for it, it's going to come out of some people's money, because I don't think that way in the hospital. I don't think, hey, does this person deserve a new IV because they don't have the ability to pay? Or no, do they deserve a new IV because they can pay? Or do they deserve a new IV because they need 2 IVs because they're in the ICU and they may need pressors? Sorry, I can't see where my dog's going. Where's she fucking going? But this is egregious pillaging, plundering. Still can't see where she is. But I don't appreciate it, and I don't think this is reciprocal, and I know that they're doing something shadier and shadier as time goes on, especially when it comes to surveillance. They're not going to scale that shit back once they get it in place. So please, people, don't wait for Daddy to say so. He's a fucking idiot. He said something about injecting Lysol. Who cares? He's not the reason you're going to stay alive. And it's obvious at this point that if you go into that jungle, so I heard on a podcast just a few minutes ago, if you're asking somebody if there are tigers in a jungle, they tell you, no, there's no tigers, and they start shooting up Lysol. It's your fault if you get eaten by a tiger in that jungle. Anyways, today's subject will be sodium bicarbonate. It acts as a buffer to lower acidic conditions, to raise the potential hydrogen ion connection, your pH, and reverse acidosis by, again, reducing acidic conditions. Your kidneys push it out and use it as it's like the marathon runner with calming your acidic body. The short sprinters, or your lungs, pushing out carbon dioxide, carbonic acid. They breathe faster, pushes out acid of your breath, and hopefully will lower your pH. But they're sprinters. They get tired, and your kidneys start producing sodium bicarbonate, just like a bicarbonate of soda that you drink to reduce the acid in your stomach. It's global throughout your whole body. Now, there are side effects of over alkalotic activity, of becoming way too basic bitches. You can stop breathing naturally. Anything that starts to mess with your muscular contraction will affect your breathing. It'll affect your heart. But with alkalosis, it's more of affecting your breathing and your mindset. You'll become lethargic, and you'll verge on more irritability and seizure risks. Yeah, I know. I have neighbors. Hush. Hush, puppy. Adverse reactions or adverse effects: vomiting, lowering your calcium levels, which can eventually mute your nervous system to the point of coma. So being alkalotic, drinking alkaline water, it's not going to make you more alkalotic. You don't want to be more alkalotic. You want to stay between 7.35 and 7.45, because above and below you start to have tricky situations. I wouldn't recommend it. So with that, I think I'll wrap it up. Bicarbonate is a buffer. There's acids, buffers, bases. Sodium bicarbonate is a base, and it's used as a buffer. No. Yeah. I kind of fucking confuse it. Straighten up. Sodium bicarbonate is a buffer, and it is basic. That's all there is to it, bitches. Anyways, I'll see you next week. Not sure what the theme, but as you can see, Forgive My Foul Mouth Friday. Got 2 shirts with buttons, 2 hats, and you didn't even know it, but I got another shirt on underneath. Why? Because it's 75 degrees out here and cold inside. Anyways, thank you for listening. This has been a nice, ridiculous Forgive My Foul Mouth Friday, motherfuckers. Have a great weekend. See you next week.